Hey, Uncle Chuck, welcome in. First, as always, thank you so much for coming in. I understand what you mean. I used to work at home a lot and I was chronically online then too. And going to school online makes me a bit chronically online. So it happens. Now, allegedly, they've done an update to where we can tame animals now. So we're going to try to build a farm today on Hytale, if I understood the update correctly. I did try to fix Orion. Absolutely, Farmville. I did try to fix Orion, and I don't know if I fixed him, but I think what might be the issue was the naming that I had. So you guys may be hit with a bunch of test redeems that I've done. I don't know how well that's going to go. It didn't update? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Thank you. Hi, Ford. All right. How does it look now? Perfect. Hi, Pop. As always, we're going to give everybody else some time to come in. We'll get started very soon, though. Oh no, I'm so sorry you had an awful day, Funkle. Chuck. I had an okay day. I'll be honest, the week has been just the worst. So I'm glad that it's the weekend now. Get some space between us and Monday. I did have a lot of fun last night, though, playing Reach with you guys, even though that wasn't what was planned. Some really great clips came from there, and I was very happy with it. As always, if I can get a couple decent clips from a stream, I think that's a successful stream. So I thought that was pretty successful. It hasn't quite been figured out just yet. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not surprised that it broke, if I'm being completely honest with you, because it's very cheap. But just for everybody else's use, should they be in the chat lurking or maybe on the VOD, I was using the 4K pass-through USB 3.0 capture box by Mirabox. I do not recommend them. Hello for Alfred. Hold on. I'll let you out. Okay. He wanted out. Yeah, I knew I was being risky by getting it, but I wanted to see if it would work. You know, it's always kind of the sort of thing of trying to get a good deal and maybe being the first one to find that equipment and being like, yeah, this is great. Everybody should use it. But honestly, the only kind of brand that I've seen so far that's worked well is the Fifine brand, which is what my brand of microphone is. And they have a capture card. So I'm eyeing that. I'm also eyeing their Stream Deck. So I may be getting those. Yippee boo. Yeah, I'm hoping so too. I'd like to open up the gateway for more games to play with you guys. Like Cult of the Lamb has a follower integration, and I have Cult of the Lamb on my Switch. And then a Jackbox, I have that on my Switch as well. I think that would be fun to play with you guys. Of course, we could always play Kahoots, which is something that I've been considering, just as like a community night. I meant to mention that yesterday, but with everything that went on with the stream, it completely slipped my mind. Hi, Ford. What you doing? We're just going to give everybody a couple more minutes before we get started. As it turns out, this time of day is actually pretty popular to stream. I wasn't aware. But that's okay. As always, people are welcome to stop into the VODs. It's appreciated. A fun thing that I've noticed is on the Reach VOD, it's jumped up to 90 hits overnight. So that one went really well. It's my understanding that's pretty unusual to get such high hits on VODs, especially at my level of streaming. So that was pretty fun to see. And the clip that we got last night is doing pretty well too. All right. Let's get this music off of here. I don't know how I feel about that track. It's called I Am Extended. 13 minutes long. Goodness gracious. And let's switch over to here. So I've got Orion up. Before we get started, I'd like to test him really quick. I hit my mark. Welcome in.
Testing, test.
He works. He works. Yes. So it doesn't work offline. Okay. I was really concerned. He's alive. Yes. So you guys can use 1,500 channel points for that. I kept it at 1,500 because I didn't want people to come in, sit in here for a few minutes, and then just do random stuff. There is an aspect of TTS Monster, which is what I'm using. I had to use the default name, by the way. So it's labeled as TTS Monster on the reward. But there's an aspect that I'm not quite sure how to use. It's sound bites. And you guys could do different sound bites, like that one or that one. I don't know if you guys type it in or not. Hold on, let's try. Since I've got unlimited channel points.
Oof.
Yes. No. The pufferfish noise is great. Yeah. I think you guys may need to do maybe BB brackets or something like that. But I can turn those on. There's a huge list of them, though. That way you guys could do like different sounds. Spider, welcome in. Ford says hello. Oh, we have to have this one. Let's see. Actually, let's look this up. It's going a lot better. Orion works. The little star guy next to me. He's our stream pet, and you guys can use him to talk. It's a channel point reward redeem. I'm just looking up on how to use the sound bites. For you guys, because I'm pretty sure. I'm not getting a good answer. Yeah, it's not giving me a good answer. Well, at the very least, the text-to-speech works. So that's good news. Yes, you are just a baby. Just a baby, he says. All right. Just a baby. They're very excited. But I am also very excited too because I've gotten Orion to work. So if you go over to your channel points and scroll down to the bottom, it's going to be TTS Monster TTS. I figured I'd have it for channel points for now since the community's smaller. My goodness, you guys. Yeah. But today we are going to be building a farm because I heard on TikTok that they've started implementing the animal taming aspects, which is kind of funny because I've been doing some poaching. Oh, geez. There's a game warden. And I'm out of... You made me free my animals. He caught me off guard. Anyway. My goodness. Hi. Hi, silly kitty. Welcome in. Oh, interesting. What do you like? You trying to hop back in? Yes, you want to go into the box, don't you, buddy? There you go. I know. Back into your cage. You've been institutionalized. Do you like my perfectly ethical enclosure? It's full of a lot of stuff for them to do. But I did play offline, as always. A little bit. Not too much. Just doing a bit of building and upgrading and the like. I finished this, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about the shape. I may bring it out an extra block off stream. Plenty of enrichment. Exactly. And then I was working on upgrading this. Hence the eggplants and the pumpkins and all that. Speaking of which, I don't think they're done. I'd love to get some cows, but this whole space is going to be looking a bit like the zoo built in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I've seen too many videos of them jumping over fencing. Which is why this is 3 stacks high. Just enough for us to climb and enough to keep them in there. Our main target will be getting chickens first. Because after we upgrade this to tier 5, we can get a chicken coop. Of course, that first requires us to actually get enough materials to upgrade. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. I also tried to fix the capture card because I did want to, incorporate my Switch into the streams more. It's not working. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I've done something wrong or if I'm just not using the right outputs. But the mirror box is not working.
C3P0, testing the TTS. But who knows if this will work or just be obnoxious, honk.
Thank you, Funkle Chuck. I don't think I have the honk alert sound. Hold on. I should really go through and just select all of them. Yeah, one thing worked. Oh my god. Guess what they have?
Daddy, chill.
Yeah, that's Orion. That's our little star guy over here in the corner. Honestly, I could spend most of the stream just playing with these different alert sounds. Yeah, it's TTS. I had to use the default name. Can we get a list of alerts? Let me see if there's a public list. Alert list. Sounds. I thought so too. I thought it was pretty neat. You know what? What I'll do is I may end up doing some sort of Nightbot command and have that listed there. I saw an artist draw a little bunny for hers and gave it a high-pitched voice. Yes, there are a lot of voices that Orion could use, but my problem is with some of these voices, they're AI, and I'm not particularly a fan of it, but this is the only one that works with the type of stream pet that I wanted to do. Otherwise, I would have had to do a lot more complicated stuff. And I wanted to keep it simple as I can. Okay, I've got everything selected that we can have. Now, I will say, there are a few of them here that are pretty funny. We've got Kanye's voice. Hold on.
Guys, can you please not spam the chat? My mom borrowed me this new laptop and it gets really hot when the chat is being spammed.
Yeah, there's Kanye. Let's see. There's Kratos.
I can't respect anybody who can't tell the difference between Pepsi and Coke.
I've had good experiences with Tangia, but setting up that kind of stuff is a lot. Oh, is that a different version of this? I'd have to look into that after I get everything upgraded. I thought this would be a great way to establish Orion's character first. Because he's your guys' stream subscription badge.
My name is Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
That's reminding me of those President gaming videos. But some of them are kind of amusing, but I prefer to just keep it default for now. And of course, we've got... Hold on.
There are a lot of perks to being president. One of these perks is free ice cream whenever I want.
Yeah, we've got to have both of them. Oh, boy. It started raining. It's a alert memes TTS app. It has custom TTS on it too. Ooh, I'll have to look into that. I'd love to have it to where you guys have the menu for all the alert sounds. I may need to do that by hand though. I don't know. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but having to sit there and figure everything out sounds like the worst. But there's plenty of stuff for that. I'm going to continue trying to upgrade the experience for you guys. in terms of that. How many did I need? 3 of those. I got 2. And I just want to slowly make things a little bit better over time, because that's the only way I can really handle doing this. Otherwise, I'm just going to get overwhelmed. But anyway, how has everybody else's days been? I'm personally really glad it's Friday. I don't think I can take another day of the week. Stop raining. Ah, it's already watered. Had a bit of a stressful day at work. Doing good now. I'm so sorry to hear that, Spider. Yeah, looks like Uncle Chuck and me are not the only ones who had a rough day or rough week. Well, I'm glad that you're doing better. And here's hoping that next week is even better for everyone. It just something about this week was not sitting right with anybody, it seems. Let's see. One of the next things I'm going to try to figure out, I know I can do different roles, so I'm going to look into that. If anything, Spider, the first bit tier emote will be based after you. Do you like the grade? Time to water the boat. I was thinking maybe a spider with a top hat or something. That's amazing. I feel honored. Thank you. Thank you. You guys really shown that you believed in me as a streamer, and I just want to show appreciation to you guys. Everyone in the chat who's been here since basically the start, and anyone who's new, honestly. Mark, you need to tell me what your schedule is, by the way, so I can join in on your streams. Good sir. I want to get you to affiliate as soon as possible. I tried to include everyone at least once in the Halo 3 vid. I may have missed some people. I think you've got most of the gang here, honestly. I don't think Silly Kitty was around for Halo 3, and that's okay. You know, that happens. But everybody who was here since the TikTok video dropped was in it, as far as I was aware. As it stands, I do not have a schedule. I will try to fix that. I'll just have to keep my alerts on, I guess. I blame you. Starting out, it's a little hard to keep any sort of schedule starting out. Listen to me. I've only been streaming for a little under a month. I'm not some sort of old head. What are you talking about, Shura? Either way, it was something. I'm good either way. Okay, so you tend to play with others, but you mostly go by their schedule. Gotcha. Yeah, it can be a little hard being a solo streamer. That's why I usually do like playing story-based games, because you have the NPCs to play off of. I don't know how you do it. I take vitamin D before I start, not to sound like pasta. And I just try to psych myself up to do it. And I also have you guys here, so that helps. Though that didn't stop me from yapping. Oh, that's a secret. I'm going to make a run to CVS real quick. Honestly, I recommend getting D3 plus K2. It helps it absorb into your system better. I have a lot of lethargy, especially in the winter. So that tends to affect my energy levels. Jokes aside. Writing that down. But yeah, it's a lot easier if you have regulars in the chat that you can joke with, which is why I'm insisting on becoming a regular in your chat. You'll see how much easier it is. Having people to play off of or make jokes from is a lot easier. I also have taken acting classes, but I'll be honest, they didn't really do much. Okay. And instances like that where I'm suddenly looking at the sky is why I'm looking into upgrading this thing. But I mentioned acting classes because there's an aspect of improv, which is acting, where you do yes and. Hold on. And basically you just agree with everyone. He heard me. Now, what are you doing out of the cave? You stay underground where you belong. Animation has an aspect of acting, so I had to take a acting for animators class. And I have to be honest with you guys, that was the most pretentious class I've taken in a while. But there were some helpful points. It was awful. But not as awful as the acting class that I actually took during undergrad. Though the worst class that I've taken is a creative process class, but that was more about the professor than anyone else. How was it pretentious? Was it the professor being weird about it, or do you just need that obnoxious confidence kind of thing for it? Okay. So, if you've ever been in any sort of fine art setting, there is an element of pretentiousness where they try to make stuff out to be a bigger deal than what it really is. Like, for For example, somebody will throw a splatter of paint onto a canvas and they'll say, I'm depicting emotion. I'm depicting the rage of the patriarchy. And maybe they are depicting that. But 9 times out of 10, they were 15 minutes late and they needed something on the canvas and the paint is still dripping. One professor I had spent most of the class trying to sell us a study software thing. Yeah, that happens too. Quite a few of them will try to grift while they're teaching. For the creative process class, now I've got stories about that specifically. So, imagine what you will, based off the name, and that was the actual name, creative process. What kind of work do you think you'll be doing in that class? Do you think you'll be learning how to organize ideas, pitch ideas in a formal academic setting, learn how to take and fill out grants or network? If you thought any of those things, you're wrong. Instead, we had to watch a How It's Made episode on lawn flamingos and talk about the artistic value of lawn flamingos. I had to watch a 20-minute documentary of someone posing cockroaches in historical settings. In that class. That guy had a 15-minute track with no rhythm, no patterns, no nothing, of trash cans and pots and pans being banged together in a cacophony of what I imagine hell sounds like, and called it music. Oh, did you get to make any lawn flamingos after? No. Instead, we had to talk about how important lawn flamingos were and everything and what our opinions were. And the professor didn't like me because I said they belong on in Florida in front of retirement homes. Which is... yeah, that's not the grossest one. There's a specific artist and she did fiber work. Fiber work is just a fancy way of saying that she knitted. And she had a roll of yarn inside of her. Yes, there. And she would knit stuff. Even during that time of month. And I had to watch a documentary about her in that class. I hated that class. That's the kind of pretentiousness I'm talking about. That's an appropriate reaction. Really, that is an appropriate reaction. I can't believe, I can't believe that he thought that was a good thing. Oh, they up the spawns on enemies. Okay. But he's like, what do you guys think? And everybody who had their grades held hostage by the psychopath were like, it's very creative. Trying to hold back their vomit. I don't know. He's the type of guy who went to Burning Man and loved Arizona, the artistic, avant-garde areas of Arizona. And all he ever talked about was Arizona and how great it was. And New York and how great it was. And how the area we were in was awful. As for adding meaning to art, one of my favorite was a man who made a colorful pile of candy that weighed the same as his wife. See, that's fine. That has meaning, that has intention, that requires thought. Sticking a spool of yarn inside yourself does not. Mark says, I only took one art class and it was pretty cool. It was half photography, half Photoshop, so we got to make photos and touch them up. Yeah. The digital arts people are a lot more grounded, which is interesting, but the fine arts people have a certain way of being, at least from that school. Sounds like he should move to Arizona. You'd think he would, but no, he went crazy and went back to New York. At least that's what I've heard. Vass, welcome in. It depends, I suppose. It's hard to explain the difference between pretentious and I don't get it. For me, I'm able to forgive a lot when it comes to art, but there has to be a clear purpose behind it. If you're just doing it for the vibe or the aesthetic, that's fine. Say it. Say it with your chest. Don't hide it. But if you are trying to add any further meaning to something when there's clearly not any other meaning, then you need to sit down. Now, don't get me wrong. I like modern art. There's a purpose for it, and there's a clear technique there. But there's certain types of art that I just cannot find acceptable. One of them being putting yarn inside your body. If that doesn't make me, or if that takes my artist card away and makes me, you know, a lame who doesn't understand real art, then I guess I don't have that. It's nonsense and it's also unsafe. That's unsanitary. And it's not so much that I find anything that's quote unquote unsanitary not art. You can have intention behind something being dirty. It's just, that was just nasty. One of my professors was getting a bit too close to the pretentious cause. She made it mandatory for our art to have meaning. So a lot of art professors struggle with actually being good teachers. They can be great artists, but terrible teachers. And I think what she was trying to do was get you guys to think critically about what you're doing, which is perfectly fine. It's just the way that they go about things and the method in which they use is not fine. I took a sculpting class that I mentioned before, and this professor criticized a perfectly acceptable sculpture because it was a little bland, done by somebody who was taking the sculpting class as a prerequisite, and told them to burn it. If art doesn't respect the art, the medium, and the intended viewer of the art, it's a prank. If it implies everyone is lesser, it's pretentious. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. Took the words right out of my mouth. I actually gave him some form. It's hard to sit there and sort out the ideas when you're in the thick of it. But that's a perfect description. Thank you so much, Funko Chuck. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the shape of this. It's been a few days since I've been on. So I think it's a good idea to drop down here and check on how everything's going. How you doing? Oh, why would he attack me? I was just checking on you. Can you believe that? My neighbor hit me. I defended myself. I was just checking in on him, and he hit me across the face. Why would he do that? I even made these tracks that go directly to his house. I'm just not appreciated. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to be a good host at all. It's so funny. I lined up. Zeus will hear of this. Now, careful now. He might turn into a swan. And then everybody's in trouble. That's how he got his wife. What in God's name was that sound? Oh. Everyone's his type. Okay. I actually know quite a bit about Greek mythology. Do you guys know the sign of not Pisces, Aquarius? You know how it's a vase, and it's kind of weird that it's a vase. But hey, it's Greek mythology and zodiac signs, so you try not to ask questions. Well, there's a reason by that. Every single sign has a story behind it when it comes to horoscopes. And Aquarius was a pretty teenage boy that Zeus took a liking to. And he brought him up to Olympus and made him serve ambrosia to the gods. The poor kid got so depressed. And rather than, taking him back down to his family for some reason, Zeus was like, you know what I'll do? I'll make this up to you, buddy. I'm going to turn you into a constellation. And that's where the sign of Aquarius comes from. I'm not kidding. That's exactly where it comes from. As an Aquarius, cool. As a teenager he kidnapped. I heard that through TikTok art. Wonderful. I'm glad other people know of the atrocities. Honestly, the best, in my opinion, one of the best Greek mythologies stories is the story of Eros and Psyche. So Psyche was a super pretty woman, and she was like the prettiest girl around, and everyone said, you're prettier than Aphrodite. Well, if you know anything about Greek mythology, that's the one thing you never want to hear somebody say to you, because that's signing your death warrant. My Aquarius roommate says, Zeus, stop kidnapping people. That's why you're on a watch list. He's on some sort of list. He did go to an island in some of them. Anyway. Psyche ends up having to be put on a cliff, and some sort of shaman or Delphi's oracle is like, hey, she's going to have to marry a monster. Her future husband's somebody who's not human. And Eros, or Cupid, Aphrodite's son, is flying by because Aphrodite's like, hey, there's this chick who thinks she's prettier than me. Go kill her. And he squares up. He's getting ready to kill her. And he's like, yeah, If someone says you're prettier than Aphrodite, they secretly hate you. Exactly. He goes to kill Psyche, and he can't because she's too pretty. So he kidnaps her instead. And then, in akin to the original French Beauty and the Beast, and I suspect this is where they got it from, she's placed in a mansion or a castle in the sky for ages with invisible servants and an invisible husband. And he's like, you can never see me. And of course, she ends up seeing him. Billy Kitty says, the lady who created the cafe latte stories told this story. Created cafe latte told this story recently. Apparently, she's written a modern retelling of the story, and that gets me nervous because of Lore Olympus. But she ends up messing up because of her sisters who are jealous, and she has to go through these trials in order to win him back. And Aphrodite is the worst mother-in-law ever. But it's one of my favorite Greek mythology stories. I think it has the strongest structure as a narrative and a great ending. Because it actually ends well. Let's see. I think Leo, the sign of Leo, is just the lion that Hercules killed. And Scorpius is a scorpion monster that got pulled up. Cancer is a crab monster that got placed in the sky as a constellation because it protected the daughters of Poseidon, who are a bunch of nymphs, from being attacked. So it got honored there. Taurus is I think it was beloved by Persephone, but it was a bull. Got placed into the sky after being accidentally killed. Bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, so when it comes to figuring out the appropriate names for gods, there's a bit of a back and forth because there were multiple cults running at the same time throughout the entirety of the Greek Empire, and it leaked over into the Roman Empire. So there's different versions of the same god with different names, and they worship different aspects of them. That's how you get a lot of the modern day Hellenists, those people who worship specifically the Greek gods, on TikTok talking about Aphrodite being a war goddess or different aspects of what their domains are. It's kind of funny that I got into mythology and stuff like that and studying the classics, because I would take and post like different drawings of different mythological figures, and then actual classic scholars will come in and try to debate me about them, and I'm sitting there and I'm a teenager who had just spent like 2 hours reading a Wikipedia article. I'm just like, yeah, I totally know what you mean. We're halfway to the Stories with Shura ASMR stream. Oh, you guys are wanting another one of those, I see. Okay, debating with the teen is crazy. Well, that was back when you don't actually talk about how old your age is. online. So everybody assumed you were an adult. And I think that's where I ended up sharpening a lot of my improvisational skills. Because I would just yes and them. Oh, it was online. I missed that part. Yeah, I think the quality's jumping up and down. Sorry about that, guys. I messed with the latency settings. Speaking of which. Let's see. We need another one of these. We'll let that mature for a little bit. But yeah, it was kind of funny that that happened. And here's the kicker. I didn't even get into Percy Jackson. I didn't even know Percy Jackson existed. It was an assignment one time in middle school. Hey, we're going to study Greek mythology. And it was all over for me. I wonder if I could capture a frog. Oh, I don't have that cage thing on me. Let's see if we can get a turkey. Come here. You're supposed to do something. I don't think that was it. Sorry. No, I never actually looked underwater. Maybe cows? What do you guys want? Hello. Wheat? Wheat? Do you want wheat? Oh, gosh. I make every god cannon in my D&D campaign just to see which ones my players summon. So, in the D&D campaign that I was making, that I never got to do, I actually made my own homebrew pantheon. Multiple, actually. And I just made it so all gods were once mortal and they had to earn their way to godhood. And essentially it was one of those campaigns where the players got to earn their way into being gods if they so choose. I'm trying to eat this wheat raw. I don't think that's safe. What you doing, Ford? Yeah, it's an ultimate power fantasy for a lot of players. I was gonna have like a moral system because they were gonna determine whether or not they were gonna be good or bad gods, you know, evil or not. And basically set up the pathway for a new multiverse or to keep the systems in place or to keep parts of the systems in place. It was basically a layered multiverse setting where different realities had different stories around them. I had one based off of the Wizard of Oz, one based off of Alice in Wonderland. My sister did that in her first campaign if your character reached level 20 and gained followers. Honestly, by level 20, they're practically a god. That's just the fact of the matter with how everything works in D&D. I keep peeking my mic. Here we go. But basically the whole story was they had to find Alice, who was a lost little girl. And they got to travel through the multiverse like that. I had a reference to the Odysseus myth. A ton of other different references. And I never got to DM it. Maybe one day. If not, I can always just share it online and let people who actually DM use it. Let's see. We need more essence of life. Oh, we're getting more of those in these. Oh, it's not ready yet. There we go. Where did I put that capture crate? There it is. Something tells me that they haven't quite added in the taming just yet. But hey, a nice chill Hytale stream after yesterday is fine by me. I know you can't capture these guys. They're too big. You want your cauliflower? Yep, Ford's in the background. I did find out something interesting. So these thinner trees grow in the wild, and you can get sticks a lot more faster that way. There we go. If anything, we'll just capture a bunch of rabbits. That duck has been swarming around my house for days. Hey guys, I got you a new friend. Bye. I'm sure that enclosure is big enough for 3 of them. I'd say it's big enough for 20 of them. Hello, turkey. Get in the box. Nope, that doesn't work on them either. Oh, another rabbit. There we go. Hello, pig. You know what? You're free. You, on the other hand, are not. I'm sure they won't drown. I wonder what it's gonna do. Don't jump. Don't jump. That's right. Stay in there where it's nice and safe. Don't jump, piggy. I think he likes it up here. I don't think those oinks are anything up here at all. He'll be fine. Let's go get his mother. She needs to supervise him. Hello, ma'am. I have your son. I need a ransom. Get in the box. I don't think they have. Come on. It's not working. Well, somebody needs to watch that thing. You, come here. I'm certainly not going to watch it. Oh, good. You're still up here. I got you a friend. I tried to get your mom, but she wouldn't come. I don't think she loves you. I didn't hit her and scare her. So the animal taming is not working. I don't know. The fact that I got O'Brien to work, I'm fine. No. Why, you got hearts. What are we supposed to do? What do you want? Do you want this? You want turnip? Can you eat turnips? Eggplant? I don't understand. Why do you fear me? That's still not through. Let's see. And we need to get more weight because that's the easiest to get going. And then we'll just clear out our inventory and just go exploring. Let's see. I'm sure I'm prepared. I'll bring those with us just in case. Oh, I know what they were responding to. Anyway, feed bag. You love me now? No, they don't love me. And this is why I lash out. Okay. We'll go over there. I wonder if there's like any biomes we haven't seen so far. We've gotten a lot of the standard biomes. But I wonder if there's something we haven't seen. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine. So I did find something out when I was playing offline. Some of these houses have secrets in them. They'll have like basements and stuff, just like in actual Minecraft. It just depends on the spawn. Like I ran into one that had like a waterfall going down, and that's how I found the basement. Oh, speaking of which, we needed something. I don't know why I said speaking of which. We weren't even talking about spiders. Let's see. I don't know what I expected. Nothing in there. What about up top? Oh, it's this place. I remember this place. There we go. We needed more venom sacks anyway. I think we needed to upgrade one of our tables. So we'll just grab a bunch of those on the way. Also, fun fact. Crows can recognize faces. So if you kill a crow and another crow sees you do it, they will hunt you down. And their funerals are not really funerals, they're investigations. corvids are incredibly smart creatures. Yes, very fun. We've got blue jays, magpies, and a bunch of other different species that rival, if not, are smarter than a lot of parrots. Sorry, Alfred. Sorry, Ford. I saved your life. Ungrateful. Yeah, ravens and crows are among the few birds that we know of that actually use tools and logic. And I've been seeing this pattern happening more and more in animal psychology, where they're slowly finding out that animals are a lot smarter than previously thought. And I've been going back and forth with myself trying to figure out if maybe it's because we all have cameras on us now, so we're able to document it, or if it's because a lot of psychology is based in, Victorian European mindsets, or if animals are legitimately getting smarter over time because we're treating them better. Because it may very well be quite similar to the issues that we had in the 70s, which I personally feel are linked to the lead being in gasoline. And just getting rid of lead and other poisoning aspects like that may very well help the intelligence of animals, including ourselves, overall. But correlation does not mean causation. What that means is just because something happens at the same time as another thing does not mean that that one thing caused the other thing. An example of this to fully illustrate it that gets used a lot in sociology classes, at least mine, is when ice cream sales go up, crime rates go up. That does not mean selling ice cream causes crime. Rather, what that means is ice cream is typically sold in the summer. Hello, chicken. And crime rates go up during the summer because more people are outside, it's hotter, and everything like that. It's still a fun example, yes. Very fun example. I heard that you can use this, so we're taking it. I found it earlier in my playthrough, and I was afraid it would break things, but I heard that it doesn't. I really liked my sociology classes that I took. Psychology's fun too, but sociology handles more of how society as a whole affects an individual. And why things are the way they are. Ice cream trucks and criminals makes sense. Oh no, what kind of ice cream trucks have you been around, Funkle Chuck? I don't need multiple of those. Sweet Tooth. Oh no. Yeah, Sweet Tooth is pretty rough. Isn't that the one with the, how do I work this? Perverted ice cream man? I can't remember if it was a short or a comic book. That topic's been explored by multiple different people, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Ah, okay. Twisted Metal, thank you so much. Hi, Lucas. So, what I thought Funkle Chuck was talking about, it's either a comic book or it's an animated short where they have a kid being lured into an ice cream truck. By an ice cream man. And it's supposed to be shocking and all that. But yes, Twisted Metal. Which I'm also familiar with. Excellent racing game. I don't know how I feel about the movie, but I think it's one of those movies that you can kind of enjoy if you don't think about it too hard. Oh boy, you are big. I was defending myself. Hey, wait, what? Hey guys, we found that void heart that I was really confused about. And there's also Ice Cream Man movies. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this really is a popular time to do streaming. I'm getting like 20 different notifications. Well, good news is I'll have some options to raid after stream. I looked away for a sec and came back to something about a kid being lured into an ice cream truck. Focal Chuck brought up Sweet Tooth, which is a character from the Twisted Metal series, and I got confused and thought he was talking about a hyper-specific short that I seen, and I was describing the plot of it. No, that's just basically what happened. Sounds good and creepy too. Yeah. If you want to see a really good animated short, and it kind of went viral recently on TikTok in the last couple of years in an audio, it's called There's a Man in the Woods. It's on YouTube. Sweet Tooth on Netflix. I've had that on my watch list. Oh, there's a movie about him? Yeah. Silly Kitty knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is a really good poem. I won't spoil anything because watching it properly without any spoilers, I highly recommend because the twist is really good. But it's called There's a Man in the Woods. It's an animated short, and it's got poetry in it. Have I not been here? I have not. Oh, they adjusted the sounds on that. And save for later. Highly recommend. I go back and watch it every so often. That's how much I love that animated short. I remember thinking you're doing too much at the end, which was probably wasn't the intent. So it wasn't the intent. What I got from it is it's supposed to be like catharsis. Because for a lot of educators, at least nowadays, that I've heard from like Reddit posts and TikTok posts, is that they feel like they don't get enough say about what's going on and everybody believes everyone else over them. Hello. I have one. What did you give me? What am I supposed to do with this? I heard I got a good item from this. Okay, whatever. At least we got this. Oh, gee, 2 memories. I understand what they were going for. I guess the exaggeration of everything took me out of it. Yeah, but that's to be expected in animation. It's supposed to be an exaggeration in film. It's not supposed to be one-to-one, and that's why animation is so great. The other guy doesn't sell stuff. He just trades sign for sign. I didn't want sign for sign. I wanted a thing. I thought I was going to get it like a cool sword or something cool, like a better crossbow or a gun. I mean, sign for sign. Yes, I sat down and watched that. I also recommend that one if you want to watch something with your family. It's family friendly. It's a very cute 2D animated film by Aaron Blaise. Aaron Blaise is a very famous animator in the animation industry. Excellent 2D traditional animator. Highly recommend. There's stuff on fire over there. You worked on The Lion King and Brother Bear. Yes. That's exactly correct. So, fun fact about The Lion King. Lion King was done by the B-Stream animation group. They had their best animators over in California, and they were just starting out the animation department in the Florida location. So they had all the weaker animators over there. Man, this trader's great, guys. I traded him a sign and I got him metal rifle. Uh-oh. Sit there bragging. No one has to know. Why are they on fire up there? There we go. I didn't just break into this construction site. What are you talking about? Or kill their guard dogs? Look at that. I don't even need a fancy gun. I'm not jealous. Well, that explains why they got caught on fire. There we go. Is this like their village or something? Well, it's not like anybody's gonna arrest me for destruction of property here. And she shouldn't be. Clearly I'm doing just fine. Strong, independent archers that don't need no gun. Let's see. We're gonna be dropping stuff in here. I found out a little bit too late that you can actually throw rocks. But, hey, it happens. This. Oh, was there arrows in there? Yes. Is that an implication that there's a basement? Who's squawking? Oh. Technically, you would be... Oh, okay. Technically, be a bowman. So the science behind crossbows is very interesting because before crossbows, they had longbowmen, and they would train so much from such a young age that one arm would end up being significantly longer than the other. And then once crossbows were made, they required far less training. And so regular traditional bows tended to fall on the wayside in the exception of extreme long-range combat. I mean, if we want to act like medieval nerds, we can act like medieval nerds. How'd you know what I sound like? I've snuck into your practice streams. That's a weird looking dog. Down, Fido. No, my secrets. Nothing can be hidden for long. Am I out of arrows? I am. Oh, thank you for waiting. So polite. I need rubble. I found rubble. You'd think 300 arrows would last me a lot longer than what they do, but they don't. It's like I shoot everything in sight or something. That doesn't sound good. I ran into another creator on TikTok who was also streaming Hytale, and it's kind of funny being on the other side of it because they were making the same kind of mistakes that I do. Like, they had gotten themselves into a cave, and a bear was nearby, and they didn't hear it, and it ended up killing them while they were in the crafting table menu. Fun fact. Going with the archer talk, you can tell someone's an archer back in the day by looking at their skeleton. Yep. And then the arm would deform. Exactly. They had them doing it from a very young age. No ethics back then. Child soldiers were common. Let's keep going west. Let's see. Learning about different like medieval standards and stuff has always been really fun to me. Of course, that's been pretty obvious. I mean, you guys have heard me rant ad nauseum about mythology and different practices and everything like that. If you guys are looking to be writers in any manner, I do highly recommend studying older practices like that because it's a lot easier to do the studying and build your lore around that instead. I've yet to watch anyone else play Hytale. You're my only contact with this game. There's quite a few people who also play Hytale. How did I end up back here? Should I be going east or north? A lot of other people tend to play with multiple people. We'll have shared servers and stuff. Very few people are like me, where I just play by myself. It's for the best, though. You're running 2 servers? World's Told is also running a server, he said, when he was in the chat last. Games like these are best played with multiple people, but I do also enjoy playing them by myself too. You know, it would be probably smart to just, pay attention to where I'm going for once, but no. Let's not do that. Why would we do that? That's crazy. Let's see. That's our main house. Let's go over here. How did I get Orion to work? Alright, so I'm using TTS Monster as his voice. And whenever you're setting him up, you have to name the reward point after you connect TTS Monster to your Twitch. And it has to be the same in order for the coding to work. And it wasn't. So I had to change it. And for now, I'm just having it run off of the default name. I'm hoping to change it to a custom name to get it to work. But I was paranoid whenever I was testing it because it wasn't working offline. Where's that marker? There it is. So I just have the default name. TTS Monster space TTS. Which is what's recommended in the setup. Turns out, if you actually read the directions, it helps. Who would have ever thought? Not me. But Orion is a pretty great thing. I do plan on redesigning him to make him look more holographic. I was trying to look for plugins for OBS because I'm also using so Orion works with TTS Monster and a plugin called Reactive Image. And he's just basically 2 images. And I was wanting to get another plugin to have him float up and down as he talked to make him look more like a hologram. But this is Orion 1.0. Reading is for nerds. I know, right? Who would ever read directions? It's like they're there to help you or something. Crazy. Moose. Hello. Give me a second. There we go. Goodbye. Oh my gosh, who hit you? That's crazy. Why is the snake doing somewhere cold? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, you can post a link in the chat. By the way, did I post a link to that tutorial that I was telling you guys about yesterday? I don't think I did. I got all flustered yesterday. If I didn't, here it is again. That is the tutorial that I used. It's from another VTuber. Her name is Dee the Sphinx. She's super helpful. She has her own little cat stream pet. Oh, did Nightbot get you? Okay, hold on. That reminds me, I need to adjust my settings on Nightbot. No, that's not what I want, Google. Okay. So I actually have some other commands, like the fun facts command, the lurk command, SO command. So I can do shout outs. I have my TikTok, the uptime, and I'll add more, but let me get the chat moderation adjusted. There you go. You should be able to post the link now. It still didn't. Okay. I think it might be SiriBot, maybe. If you want, you can just message it to me on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, because it's not going to work with this chat box dashboard. Because I don't think I can adjust SiriBot's settings. I think those are preset. Sorry about that, Felucas. Oh, a mine. Don't mind if I do. I knew I heard you. There we go. You guys are just hiding out in here. Oh, perfect. Where did you send it on? Did you send it on YouTube? TikTok? Oh, that's what I heard. So violent. TikTok. Okay. Hold on. Happy. Okay. I'll take a look at it after stream. Thank you so much. I got your message. We should be able to get him to float up and down now. You mind yours and I'll mind mine. I hope so too. I should be able to figure it out eventually. Most of this is just, you know, bashing your head against a brick wall sometimes. I can see why a lot of people tend to get tired whenever they're trying to figure out streaming because it is frustrating. Trying to figure out how everything works, and it seems like there's a bunch of hidden rules and regulations that people don't tell you whenever you go to stream, which was part of the reason why I did that post on TikTok where I was asking the VTuber community what the rules were, and everybody just told me there aren't really any rules, which is helpful. I appreciate it, but also I got told there are rules, which is helpful, and I appreciate it, but I wish there was like a bit more straightforward answers. Tell me about it. My forehead from all the bashing hurts. Yeah, I bet it does. Where'd they go? Or were they ever here to begin with? Down here? They just completely disappeared. Does Hytale have hallucinations? Didn't realize that was up here. I was thinking about doing a video based off of the responses that everyone sent me, though. Because hopefully that will be able to help a lot of newer streamers like myself or anybody else. because I did learn some like interesting tips and stuff that were super helpful. But that'll have to wait a while. Meanwhile, if anybody here is trying to grow like their TikTok engagement, I do recommend using the text feature. I was able to break out of the 300 jail that everybody's been stuck in using that. What I think is happening is the AI moderation is holding a lot of stuff back because they have to evaluate it. And videos are a lot more complicated than text. So that got pushed more. And YouTube is for sure cracking down on botted views because I watched some views be rolled back right in front of me. It was crazy. I always feel really awkward asking some streamers about technical questions. Some really don't want to talk about it or get into the minute about it. Yeah, it can be a little bit awkward. But having like general questions where everybody can kind of give their own response about stuff that you're actually very curious about can help. Yeah, a lot of people are using botted views. I don't even know how to bot. I don't want to bot anyway. I'd rather the views stay where they are and just grow slowly over time than push everything out like that. But, you know, not everybody appreciates hard work or patience. Let's see. I want to check out that place. The storm cap mushrooms. Gotta get on that fast track. Yeah, a lot of people feel like they need to be. And then they end up being popular before they're ready. And they don't know how to act. In show business, there's a saying, better late than early. Patience is a skill big companies have been trying to destroy for years. Yeah, a lot of people have been trying to destroy that. What is that noise? Hello, pig. Hello, boar. Louder. And that's why I need to upgrade. Is that just in the background playing? Or is there something specific making that noise? So if you end up hold on. There's like directions in the lurk command that talks about it. I don't know if that has any, precedence for that. but some of them really like it for the chat to be interactive. I don't care if you guys need to step away. If I'm meant to get partner, I'll get partner. I'm not too worried about that. I think staying at affiliate for a while is okay. I got partner a little fast. I got affiliate a little fast. So if I got partner, I'd be a little bit more concerned. They monitor if you mute or type. Interesting. Had you on low while writing? Just curious. That might be why. It's okay. Interesting thing happened with the Halo Reach stream. Last time I checked, we were at 90 views. So the VOD went well. And we had a record amount of people in the chat during the live stream. It's like 20. So that was really fun. Oh yeah, that's good news. I thought so. I've heard that not a lot of people get a lot of views on their VODs. Even the VOD over on YouTube was pretty high. We had 20 views. And then I hit my Mark's edited compilation that he did for me, which he totally did not have to do. But it reached like 22 views last time I checked. So it is raising the watch hours ever so slowly, which is great. That is like the biggest problem that I have over on YouTube right now. Lottie, thank you so much for the lyric, Lottie. Mark is a very nice guy. Oh, somebody else used it. Is that yours, Lottie, or somebody else's? Oh, your character looks cute. Mine just blends into the background of the dark settings. Where's the... Is it up here? I'm going to have to sit down and retexture some stuff in order to actually get it to look like my model's outfit, because the preset outfits don't look correctly. Or look like my stuff, not correctly. What am I saying? If I can manage to do that, then I will be able to feel a bit more satisfied with the emote lab system. But I still, yeah, I still may very well turn around and do custom animations whenever I do get the opportunity to do so. I need to retexture it more to get it closer to my own. Same. And good thing I'm an artist. Yeah, it was kind of funny, but very sweet of the people who did respond to that TikTok post that I did, because they're like, you need to support artists. Don't use AI. And I'm like, I don't have that problem. I have my papers. I'm vaccinated. Oh, look, castle thingy. That's how I found you, I think. I think you showed up before I did that post. You've been here for a while, Lottie. Oh, you're all right. A late response is better than no response in my book. Oh. Stream crashed. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, good. Yeah, the loading screen of death appeared. The stream crashed. Again, if anything, this stream showed me I need to upgrade my system. But thankfully it got back online pretty quick. Ooh, what down here? Oh, that's nice to hear that you guys are following each other. I'd love for a lot of people to end up on the affiliates program, if possible. Oh, people are coming in. I guess they live here. Hello, neighbor. Odd one, welcome in. Thank you so much for the lurk. Oh my god. I broke into somebody's house and they didn't like it. So, give me just a second. There we go. I just wanted to stop in and steal everything. That's so wrong. I deserve nice things. I'm fiddling with a dedicated streaming PC to go with my gaming PC. I'll report my findings. So I am looking at a website called NZXT. That was recommended to me by my brother. He got a PC from there, and it is a monster. So that's where I'm planning on getting mine from. I don't think I'm going to be doing a double computer setup. I think that's a little bit beyond me. But I want to get a nice, decent PC because the one that I'm using right now is a few years old. So I need the upgrade anyway. Yeah, I don't have the patience to build anything. Did I kill everyone in here? I respect it when people do, but that's just not for me. Wow, you seem really upset that you're stuck down there. Good news is the sweet release of death can help. Shadow leaf scraps. We need more of those. We'll get rid of those. We don't really need 3 different types of wood. I want these. Lost Civilization Lantern. I don't really want to go down there just for that. Are we handing out sweet release of death? Can I have double? So you want to die and then have a reincarnation and then die again? Odd order, but we do we do customs, I guess. We're gonna have to charge you extra though. Sorry about that. Just company policy. I need to increase my lich powers. What you gonna bind your soul to? I don't recommend an egg and ham cheese sandwich. Or a toddler. Good question. I always ask good questions. People just don't appreciate it. Hair flip. I vaguely remember a couple on D&D binding their souls to their partner's wedding rings. Oh, that's kind of similar to the paladin having paladin couple having an oath on each other or something like that, or a paladin warlock couple where one's a patron and the other one is the warlock and the patron is a paladin. Oh, there you are. Nothing wrong with that. They did a really cool twist on it. Didn't think fast enough, did you, buddy? Did we clear this out? I think we might have cleared it out. They became the villain couple used for the DM's next campaign. That's one way to do it. It's down here. Same thing. Let's see. Oh, a ton of shadow weave scraps out here. I forgot about. We need those for these. Yeah, they actually had that item in Baldur's Gate, I think. And it was like heavily implied that one of the wearers set the other one up. Baldur's Gate is such a good game. If you're going to stream it, make sure you have your settings set to streamer mode. Because it's not family friendly. I can't hit him. I guess you live down there now. I've thought about streaming Baldur's Gate, but with how my PC is, it may have to wait. Yeah, some stuff will not make Twitch very happy. That's to say the least. The bear scene alone would get you banned. Jinx. That's not a kid-friendly bear. He's friendly, but not kid-friendly. Too friendly, honestly. Cowards embrace the bear. They really should. So, which character did you guys like most? I know Astarion was a pretty popular character. Bear like the animal or bear like a big guy? Yes. We just keep saying Jinx. Oh, that's funny. Carlock. Yes. I love Carlock. She's just adorable. Oh, that's what you guys were. I heard that they improved her story. I'm just gonna owe you so many cokes. I guess I'll ask my sis. She has the game. It's a very good game. I do recommend it. I've never played the game. It's fun. It's a fun game if you like turn-based games. But if you're not into that, a Let's Play would probably be more your speed. There's some really funny parts. And you can... So, 99% of my playthroughs of Baldur's Gate is, I wonder if I can do, and the answer has always been yes. Is that a goat? It's a goat. That's how detailed the game is. If you have like a crazy idea of, no, this wouldn't work, it does work. I skipped the whole teammate because the first time you meet him, I just sketched out and left. Was that teammate the one who had his hand sticking out of a portal, or another teammate who was very aggressive when you met him? I almost missed him too. That's a trap for sure. I'm out. Interestingly enough, the characters that I usually played on Baldur's Gate actually kind of looks like my VTuber character. I always played like a tiefling bard with a different class mixed in. I vaguely know about the game because people being thirsty for the vampire. Astarion is a very fun character. I love a sassy character as much as the next person. Yes, the dog is one of the best characters, hands down. But there were aspects about his story that I just did not like because they didn't give you an option about it. And I'm trying not to get too much into spoilers because that's one of the games that I feel like you really need to experience properly. But I really wish I had the option to tell him off. And I'll leave it at that. That tended to kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Dragon Age games? I think I have them. I just haven't sat down and played them. Are you thinking about the Iron Bull character? Because that's going to be Georgie all over again. A wall of a man. Very popular, though. I'm only vaguely aware of it because everybody loved him. Ouch. Oh, hold on. He got caught by Automod. There you go. Yeah, he is. See, I don't know if I'd be able to play him on play that on stream. Not him. Oh! I gotcha. That startled me. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I wonder what the mod didn't like. Maybe it's just lonely because it's almost Valentine's Day and it didn't like the word romanceable. I'm going to put you all in timeout. Found the word. I don't know. Maybe it's because you had the first letter capitalized or something. I don't know. I need to adjust my settings. Ugh. Maybe it's learning. But yeah, I'd have to look to see if maybe Dragon Age has a streamer mode or a censor mode that I can get around. Because I'd hate for us to decide as a group which character that... Oh, you were in a different stream earlier? Okay. Oh, that could have been bad. What there? Oh, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind the change in subject. It was tangentially related. I also have, I think I have Red Dead Redemption 2. I was thinking about playing that on one of the streams, but I'm kind of holding off until I can upgrade my PC because I think that's going to be a little bit rough. I don't like how RPGs tend to make the main character essential to everyone's growth. Yeah, that can be a little bit rough. It's very rare to find an RPG that doesn't have the main character be the center of the universe. I am very excited about the new Fable coming in because apparently the NPC setups there are incredibly detailed, so we may get away from that in that game. Once that comes out, I'm definitely streaming it. That's probably all I'm going to stream for a while. I went there. I played Fable 3 like crazy. Okay, so Fable is a lot like Dragon Age or Skyrim or Baldur's Gate. It's more along the lines of Skyrim, though. It'll be nice to see a Fable game. As she should be. Fable is really good. But it's less serious than a lot of other RPGs. There's a lot more jokes. And it looks like they're carrying on with that in the latest game. I miss the bygone age of PS2. Yeah, PS2 was a very goated system. I miss Vita. You could do everything on a Vita. That was definitely ahead of its time. I was pretty relieved when I heard that it was still being appreciated in Japan for a long time, though. Everyone got on that Microsoft ride when it came to Xbox. And, you know, I love Xbox as much as the next person. My family has had every single version of the Xbox. But back then, that was clearly a superior product. Is that a new island? No, that's just some glaciers. So we're going into some more snowy stuff. I didn't get the Vita. I loved my PSP. My brother-in-law got me a lot of games for it. Totally on the up and up. Oh, castle. I don't think they like me here. It was a tactical flee. Got me feeling like we're playing Skyrim. Oh, wow, wow. What is going on? What's that? Something to do with the fire. Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, my brother had a PSP and he also had a Vita, and he modded the heck out of that. We used to play Earthworm Jim on there all the time. So we need to turn these off. No, it's not that. They seem like they were. Need more of these. Modded by 3DS last year. Highly recommend. I have 3DSs, but I tend not to mod them because I like to try to keep the system as is. But I've definitely considered it. I like Nintendo's products, but their way of doing things is awful. All right. Oh well, that was bound to happen. Fascinating. Okay. All right. Actually want to do a deal with you guys. How about this time tomorrow? I'm going to stream for a couple hours on Saturday. Does that sound good to you guys? As much as I liked exploring, I feel like Hytale's kind of running its course. Perfect. One more thing. And I want to see what you guys think. What do you think about doing a Kahoots for a couple hours? Different Kahoots rounds. Are you guys familiar with what Kahoots is? If okay. So we're not familiar with what Kahoots is. Hold on. So Kahoots is a trivia game. It's similar to Jackbox in that way. I can also just get some Jackbox games pulled up, and we could do that as well. Just to get everybody interacting for a couple hours. I think that would be a nice change of pace. But they have all kinds of different stuff for Kahoots. Chill with either. Okay. I think I'll get a Jackbox because Trivia Murder Party might be good for everybody to play. You can play on your phone. You can join in. It doesn't require anything. Do you have a Kahoot made or do they make their own? I can make my own Kahoots if I want to, but I was going to just grab a bunch of like movie and different topics. No promises that you'll be good at it. Okay. Let me see if I can actually grab one. What kind of topics would you guys be interested in? We can go through one really quick if you'd like. Trivia Murder Party is very funny. Seem like any topic, movies, space, stuff like that. Fantasy fiction. Greek mythology. It's got 13 questions. There are categories. It's a really big show or a big place. Hold on. This and yeah, since we were talking about it. Window capture. Let's see. There we go. I'll keep it like this. Post live. Nice guest. Start. All right. So what you guys do is you put in the game pin. And just like with Jackbox, you just fill out everything and join. I'll join too. I haven't looked at this before. It's KOOT. KAHOOT. Lord have mercy, I can't spell. So Lucas is in. All right. And let's go ahead and switch the stream information. Done. There we go. And we need to do this for Kahoots. I go. Looks like we've got most everybody. Is everybody ready? What are we starting? Greek mythology. What does Greek mythology refer to? Tales from ancient Greece, legends of modern Greece, stories about Roman gods, myths about medieval Europe. Looks like everybody got that. That was pretty easy. Host advantage. All right, next one. True or false? Greek myths were originally transmitted as written text. I'm going to wait a little bit. Okay. Good job, everyone. We've got some movement on the leaderboard. Greek myths began in an oral poetic tradition before being written down. Oh, so this is just a little bit of trivia. Hesiod's the Theogony and works and days are among the earliest sources for Greek mythology. Greek myths unfold in 3 great eras: the age of god immortals, the origins of the world, and the gods, the heroic age. So I guess you're supposed to arrange these? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Oh, everybody settled on the same ones. All right, next one. Type in answer. We're nuts at this. I know, right? According to the myth, Uranus, the sky, was born without male assistance. His mother was Gaia, the goddess of what? Wow, this is getting really close. I'm trying to hold back. Kronos swallowed his children, but Rhea saved who? The future king of the gods. Okay, we're supposed to arrange this. I don't know if I like this question. Okay. Excellent job, everyone. Which of these are part of the principal Olympian gods? Hera, Apollo, Satyr, Athena. Oh, we are all geniuses. Lucas, you knocked me out first. Where did the Greek gods live? That's easy. A, underworld, B, Mount Olympus, C, the sea, or D, the earth's surface. Leaderboard stays pretty much the same. Who is considered central to the mythic heroic age? Titans like Oceanus, Chorus, or Citrus. Nymphs like Ethersia, Electra, and Estrotrope. Heroes like Hercules, Jason, and Theseus. Dryads like Dryonope, Eroto, and Eurydice. I butchered every single one of those names. I mean, Hades was chilling at home. So Hades would also be considered one of the principal ones. In some versions, he is crippled because he was holding everybody up inside of Kronos' stomach, keeping them from being digested. Oh, we've got a puzzle. Which epic involves Jason in the voyage to retrieve the Golden Fleece? I don't know. I don't like these types of questions. It should be multiple choice. Oh, I lost my answer streak. Who got it right? So Lucas. Down to the last three. Which major war marks the culmination of many Greek myths and is essential to the epic cycle stories? Uh Trojan. I got knocked out a second too. It's okay. Who was one of the founders of the comparative mythology analyzing similarities between myths and cultures? Edward Bonnet Taylor, Carl Jung, Claude Levi Strauss, Max Muller. I feel like it's this one. Oh, that was my second guess. Quiz. During the Renaissance, which ancient writer's work greatly influenced artists and poets reviving Greek myth? Oh, wow. No one got that one. Who is Ovid? All right. I've got third place. Silly Kitty has second place. And top of the bracket is Lucas. Congrats. That was kind of fun. This will never happen again. All right. Do you guys want to do another one or anything else? We've got Norse mythology, epic poetry, Fail Fail-Ocus. I change how I pronounce Felucius's name for the bit. And because he won't tell me. Let's see. I'm going to scroll really quick to see if we've got any other interesting ones. I must keep my mouth shut. Okay. But that's Cahoots. I personally really prefer Jackbox myself, but I think that was pretty fun. I may end up just getting that, but I think this is a good spot to end. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow at 1 a.m. UTC, and we'll stream for a couple hours playing Jackbox. Does that sound good? All right. Before we go, let's actually try to raid someone. Hold on. I haven't done this before, so we're going to try to do a raid. Who do we have? Who am I following? Let's raid Worlds Told. Worlds Told looks like they're playing Star Citizen again. Yeah, I agree. So we're going to raid him. And let's be nice about it. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. I appreciate it. You're going to queue up an emote spam. Okay. And I really appreciate you guys coming on as always. Thank you so much again. Everyone have a great rest of your night. Let's go raid Worlds Told.